Hi. Thank you for being part of this very quick, condensed version of Curriculum Night. So this is for social justice. Social justice has two separate courses. A student could choose to take one or both. One course covers race, ethnicity, gender, and sexual identity, and the other covers socioeconomic status, ability and disability, and mental health. I want to begin by acknowledging that we are on the traditional land of the Coast Salish, Duwamish, and Muckleshoot people, that this is their land since time immemorial, and that I am grateful for the privilege of being part of this community on this land. So it's nice to meet you. My name is Litza Johnson. My email address is on the screen. If you come away with nothing else, I hope you know how much I care about your kid, how much I want them to do well academically, socially, emotionally, that my hope is to build community, a love of learning, and really help support their critical thinking skills. And I want you to know that every choice I make, I do with a lot of intention. That doesn't mean that every choice is the right one, but please know that everything I am doing in the classroom, I am doing with the goal of helping your child and all the children here be well. So what is social justice? It's an examination of disparities in opportunity between different groups. And that's really key, right? Opportunities, not just outcomes, but the chances people have. Specifically, it's about how certain identity factors influence the way people are treated in society as a whole. And those identity factors, as I said, are race, ethnicity, and culture, gender, sexual identity, and then in the other course, socioeconomic status, ability and disability, and mental health. Obviously, people study these their whole lives. There is a lot more to cover than just one trimester, so it's kind of 101 level, but we get to really investigate them, and it's a great experience all around. It's also worth noting that obviously we can't talk about gender without also talking about race. We can't talk about ability and disability without at the same time talking about socioeconomic status. We also can't talk about socioeconomic status without talking about race and gender, right? So these are all linked up. And we talk about everything, but it's just where the focus is for each class. I'm sure you've seen the comic of the kids standing outside the baseball field trying to see in over the fence, and the kids are at different heights, so they can't all see in because of the fence. And the criticism I read, and that really resonated with me, is that the thing is the kids aren't the problem, right? Their height is not the problem. The fence is the problem, and their position in society is the problem. The fact that we have these roles and opportunities that are not equally available to everyone. And so I like this image of the people standing on the hill, because that's really what it's about. It's the position we're born into that we didn't deserve or not deserve, but it's just where we are. And so how some people are born into positions that make accessing safety, respect, and opportunity much easier than it is for other people. And of course, we get this idea of equality, right? Everybody gets the same thing. It sounds fair, but like the preschool version of fair, where everybody gets the same, but that doesn't necessarily have the same impact. So this person now can collect safety, respect, and opportunity with both hands, and this person still can't reach it at all. On the other hand, we have equity, which is certainly a more forward-thinking view, where everybody gets what they need in order to be successful. So this person over here got a lot more help than this person over here, but at the end of the day, the people can all access what they need. And that's great, and I'm pro-equity, obviously, but it's also not really the end goal. The end goal is to not have the barriers that we have to navigate. And so while we are unlikely to remove all systemic barriers in a trimester of social justice, we will certainly explore them and talk about them and learn about them and hopefully learn ways we can contribute to breaking them down. There are 3 tenets. What's said here stays here. What's learned here leaves here. So people share stories of their experiences with identities and within systems. And while the learning from those stories should go with us, those stories themselves belong to the tellers, belong to the people with the lived experience. And so we don't share people's personal stories. The next one is no blame, no shame, no guilt. Nobody in this room invented racism, invented sexism, invented ableism. We have all learned these things because of the society that we are a part of. And we are taking steps to learn more and do better. And nobody is served by feeling like a bad person. That's not a problem-solving solution. It's not helpful, and it's not necessary. It's also not true. And finally, the third tenet is engage. Be part of this. Don't just be here. Be here with us. Talk, listen, be courageous and vulnerable. Show your caring, respect for, and interest in others. So the way we approach all this is we start with some resources. Sometimes that's articles. Sometimes we have guests, the students, obviously, me, TED Talks, anything that gets more voices in our room. We have a lot of conversations. So sometimes those are in our conversation groups, which are about 4 to 6 people. Usually there is tea involved. We have whole class conversations. We have partner conversations. It's a lot of discussing. And then we have our journals. Each student keeps a journal through the trimester, and they pass it back and forth with me weekly, and I respond to what they've written and give my feedback on their understanding. They can choose to use Google Slides, or they can choose to use paper. And either way, that's where they get my feedback. There we go. So it's all interactive. I love teaching this class. I love working with the kids, and I am really, really excited for this year. Thanks so much.